In a small, dusty village, as the golden sun rose, a 10-year-old boy named Leo swept the streets. His broom was old and broken, just like many things in his life. Other kids would run by, pointing and laughing. "Look, it's the janitor's son. You'll be sweeping forever." Their words stung, but Leo tried to ignore them. One day, while emptying a trash bin, he found a crumpled piece of paper. It was a child's drawing of a rocket, torn but still vibrant. As he smoothed it out, his eyes lit up with a spark they'd never had before. A dream was born in that moment, a dream that everyone else thought was just trash. They laughed at his dream, but it was the only thing that kept him going. At night, when the village was quiet, Leo would sit under the dim glow of a single streetlight, devouring any book he could find about rockets and space. He'd trace the diagrams, memorize the formulas, and imagine himself soaring among the stars. But reality was harsh. His mother grew ill, her cough echoing through their tiny home. There was no money for medicine, no hope for a cure. The weight of the world fell on his young shoulders. To help, Leo took on more work, his small hands becoming rough from cleaning, his days and nights blurring into one long shift. On his wall, a faded NASA poster he'd found served as his only comfort, its words a constant reminder. Dream big. The bullies at school found his sketchbook one afternoon. They tore out his precious rocket designs, scattering the pieces like confetti, their laughter echoing his heartbreak. But they couldn't tear the dream from his heart. He just picked up his pencil and started drawing again, more determined than ever. 15 years passed in a blur of hard work and quiet determination. Now 25, Leo found himself still holding a broom, but this time he was a janitor at NASA. The irony wasn't lost on him. He mopped the same hallways where his heroes walked, polishing floors that reflected the bright lights of scientific discovery. One evening, while cleaning near a conference room, he overheard a group of top scientists arguing. They were stuck, a critical flaw in their rocket's propulsion design, threatening to derail a multi-billion-dollar mission. They packed up for the night, frustrated and defeated, leaving their complex equations on a large whiteboard. Leo waited until the building was silent. He approached the whiteboard, his heart pounding. He saw their mistake instantly, a simple oversight he'd read about in one of his old books. With a trembling hand, he picked up a marker and quietly corrected the formula, redrawing a small section of the Exhausted, he fell asleep in a corner of the hallway, his broom still clutched in his hand. The next morning, the lead scientists returned, and one of them stopped dead in his tracks, staring at the whiteboard. "Wait a minute. This is... This is perfect. It's brilliant." The room buzzed with excitement. But who was responsible? The director of the facility stormed in, demanding answers. "Who did this?" he boomed. Just then, they noticed Leo stirring in the corner. He shyly raised his hand. The room fell silent, then erupted in laughter, louder and more piercing than any he'd heard as a child. "The janitor? You're joking, right?" But the director saw something in Leo's eyes, not arrogance, but quiet confidence. He silenced the room. "All right, son. I'll give you one chance. Show us." And so began the montage of a lifetime. Leo, suddenly thrust into the lab, worked day and night. He lived on coffee and sheer willpower, building prototypes from scrap metal, running simulations, and explaining his ideas with a passion that slowly silenced the doubters. The scientists who once laughed now leaned in to listen, their respect growing with each problem he solved. Finally, launch day arrived. The air in the control room was thick with tension. On the launch pad stood the rocket, a towering monument to a janitor's impossible dream. The countdown began, each number a hammer blow to Leo's heart. 10, 9, 8. The world held its breath. With a deafening roar, the rocket ignited, blasting off into the clear blue sky. A perfect, powerful ascent. The control room exploded in cheers. Engineers hugged, strangers hyped, and the director wrapped Leo in a massive bear hug, shouting over the noise, "You did it. You actually did it." Tears streamed down Leo's face, not of sadness, but of overwhelming joy. News headlines flashed across the globe. From janitor to genius. Local man sends rocket to space. On a small television in his old village, his childhood bullies watched, their mouths agape in disbelief. A few days later, Leo stood before his mother's grave. The sun warming his face, he gently placed his official NASA mission badge on the cool stone. They laughed when he was a kid, a nobody with a broken broom. Now, the entire world was looking up, watching his rocket paint a trail of hope across the heavens. Never let anyone tell you your dream is trash. Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, please like and subscribe for more.